Eli Manning, I don't know if he's a first ballot Hall of Fame. He probably is going to go in as a first ballot Hall of Fame. Adam Vinatieri should be in, no question. He's been the best kicker in football history. I think he's been unbelievable. And the game-winning kicks that he had over the years with the New England Patriots, phenomenal. This guy was an all-world kicker. Luke Kuechly, he was the best linebacker in football for 8 years. I mean, nobody could touch what Luke Kuechly did, and he was the main reason why that defense at Carolina was as good as they were when they took it all the way to the Super Bowl against, Peyton Manning, a washed-up Peyton Manning, and a Von Miller and a Broncos defense that was all-world. Terrell Suggs is definitely going to get in. I honestly... What Terrell Suggs did, coming back from that Achilles tear and still becoming the elite player that he was after coming back from a major injury like that, was remarkable. Why Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne are not in the Hall of Fame and Antonio Gates is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Reggie Wayne, for the years that he was dominant, yes, he played with Marvin Harrison. This guy was at one point the best wide receiver in football. You can argue he was. And Torrey Holt,
it was like the Jerry Rice, John Taylor.
It's crazy.
Like, his numbers were better than John Taylor's were.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that back and forth. Yeah. It's like you got 2 ones right there, but one gets more credit. Really.
Sure. But more touchdowns will do it for Marvin Harrison had like 121 or something like that. Reggie Wayne at 100-something still.
It just doesn't make any sense. And again, with the NFL and the way the NFL does this, and they nominate and they do this and they do that, I am thrown off. Why these 2 players, and Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne, are not in the Hall of Fame. Antonio Gates is going to get there, but he's a tight end. Tight ends don't go first. They probably don't go second. He'll probably be a third or a fourth. But Antonio Gates will get there. He is one of the best tight ends we've seen in this era. There might be one guy that has been better than him. So, and that says a lot about who he is. Eric Allen should be there, and so is Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson should have been in there a long time ago. But again, the NFL and these nominating and how they pick these guys and how many guys go in, it makes no sense. But again, the NFL has been the toughest when it comes to picking guys and sending guys into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Speed. Mm-hmm. But do you think bring the players in for a vote, not just writers?
Yeah, no, we've had this discussion before. Like, a lot of these writers are older, and they're still going to have their older values when it comes to position issues, like we were talking about with tight ends. That's why it took a while to get in. We were talking about it when we had Trevor Price on the show, too. We were talking about the tight ends. We were talking about the interior defensive linemen, the right tackles not getting in. That was the Willie Anderson story we did in the summer. Like, he was complaining because he's a right tackle, not a left tackle, why he's not in the Hall of Fame. And Antonio Gates, same kind of thing. He has the most tight ends for a touchdown all the time. I think he's the second best after Tony Gonzalez right now. Maybe Travis Kelce gets there at the point. Gronk, you could argue, obviously, too, with his blocking ability and his per-game stats, but he was always hurt. So he's still, regardless, no worse than 4, and he's taking him a while to get in, whereas I'm sure Gronk, the first ballot he'll be on right away.
I mean, he's going to. Just, I think personality
plays
a part.
Uh-huh. And those are the
because
biases
you have the writers, and they're like, oh, we love this guy.
But we held personality against Terrell Owens. It took him 3 tries to get in.
Took him twice. Took him 2 tries.
Right.
He was a second ballot.
Yeah, and they'll nitpick on those standards with certain guys.
Terrell Owens, to me, is the second greatest wide receiver I've ever seen. Okay, Jerry Rice, and then it would be Terrell Owens. Mm-hmm. He was a smartass, and he pissed people off on and off the field, and that's why the NFL committee didn't like him. But he never did drugs. He never did any of those things on and off the field. And as far as I'm concerned, he wasn't a good Samaritan on the field, but he was a good Samaritan off the field, except doing sit-ups on the at the end of his driveway, which pissed people off too. I mean, there was things that he did, and him crying about his quarterback when he was playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I remember that very, very well. It just, unfortunately, and you know this, Jabba, as great of a player, and all these great players, not all of them get into the Hall of Fame, and the NFL is so stingy on who makes it and who doesn't. And the MLB has been like that for years, too.
Yeah, they're probably worse overall, but
still. The MLB? I think the NFL's been worse.
The NFL is bad, though, too, because they still are nitpicking a lot of these senior guys.
Well, with the MLB, it's all about the steroids.
Right.
But the NFL, I mean, you're going to tell me, what did Torrey Holt do? I mean, besides be a great player and great leader. Mm-hmm. Reggie Wayne, what has he done? I mean, dance around? He never danced around. He actually gave the referee the football after he scored. He never did what Terrell Owens was doing, signing cameras and signing balls and signing shoes and all the crap that he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. And Eli, because he's a quarterback and the only quarterback on this list, he's going to get in because of that.
Right. And again, you look at the standards of like where they ranked at those particular positions at the time. Like obviously Eli's going to be a little lower than the quarterbacks of this generation.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll probably get into that.
I disagree, by the way. I disagree. People don't understand how great Eli Manning was.
No, I know. I still think
Giant fans are so washed up in their head.
There's a lot of Giants fans that hate him, including the one we just had on the phone, and Keith. I love to throw Eli Manning under the bus. But again, it's still going to be worthy of a Hall of Famer regardless. We'll see if it ends up keeping guys out. You're right. I think the amount that they get in, I think, is where the NFL ends up being very stingy. They try to only put 5 or 6 in, and Luke Kuechly has a good case because you saw Patrick Willis and Calvin Johnson get in first ballot, and I would say he's probably a little slightly behind Willis, but like the same level of player. Like he was the best middle linebacker in football right after kind of Willis had those concussion issues. It kind of transitioned to him after that. And the kind of thing with Jared Allen. Jared Allen doesn't get the respect he deserves as a pass rusher either. 140 sacks, right near Terrell Suggs. Like he should get in as well, and so should Suggs.
Hey guys, I wanted to chime in from the offensive line guru section of this because Marshal Yanda should get in first ballot.
I think so too.
He is probably the best guard in the last, you could argue, since Larry Allen. What he was able to do for the running game for the Ravens for that many years, it speaks volumes. How many different running backs did they have over the years before they got Derrick Henry recently that somehow were great every year? It was Marshal Yanda. That's what was going on.
Here's the problem. He is a guard. He's not the tackle, and that's what they're going to look at. That's how they grade it. They rate it. They have a point system, and point systems would tell you no matter how good of a guard he is, they're going to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to go with the guard. We're going to go with the quarterback.